especially the Trump Republicans, happy. Tyrone Bowman live, unfiltered, unapologetic, uncompromising. According to the Wall Street Journal, Hunter Biden, the headline reads, makes a surprise guilty plea in the tax case. So let's unpack this story that's coming out of Los Angeles, California, according to the Wall Street Journal. Hunter Biden pleaded guilty to federal tax charges Thursday, heading off a trial that was expected to further shine an unflattering light on his past business dealings and freewheeling lifestyle. Hunter Biden has publicly admitted, and even President Biden has admitted, that his son has struggled with drug addiction and many other things during the course of his life. And Biden's surprise plea capped a whirlwind morning in Los Angeles federal court, where jury selection was set to begin for Biden's tax trial. At the outset of Thursday's court proceedings, Biden's lawyers proposed an unusual deal where President Biden's son would maintain his innocence while conceding that the evidence was sufficient for a guilty plea. Prosecutors said they were shocked by the proposal of a so-called Alford deal and wouldn't support any plea without an admission of guilt. Hunter Biden is not innocent. Hunter Biden is guilty, Prosecutor Leo Wise told U.S. District Judge Mark Sakarsy, a Trump appointee presiding over the case. Well, that figures that the Trump appointee is not going to show any leniency whatsoever to Hunter Biden. After all, the appointee's failed candidacy in losing to Biden in 2020 is not helping Hunter Biden. So anybody who comes before a Trump-appointed judge, who appointed a lot of judges during his tenure as president, and you know federal judges have lifetime appointments, as well as the Supreme Court, lifetime appointments. Donald Trump's late sister was a federal judge for a long time. So Hunter Biden decided to plead guilty before a Republican appointed judge by Donald Trump. Later Thursday, a lawyer for Biden came back from a break and told Sakarsy his client would abandon the Alford plea and plead guilty without any negotiated deal with prosecutors working under special counsel David Weiss. I don't even like that. You all didn't even offer him any type of incentive to plead guilty. You just want him to plead guilty so you can probably sentence him to the stiffest sentence possible. And then say, we will not tolerate this type of flagrant vagrance of the law. Except when it comes to Donald Trump. Because when it comes to Donald Trump, he can do no wrong. When it comes to Donald Trump, everyone is out to get him. When it comes to Donald Trump, everyone is lying. He's the only one telling the truth. After all, this is the guy who just admitted on 3 occasions that he finally lied about the so-called election win on his part. He finally admitted that he lost the 2020 election to President Biden. You're going to trust that guy to tell the truth in the court of law? You're going to trust him, of all people, to sit in the courtroom and put his hand on the Bible, swear or affirm to tell the truth to help you God? I've known criminals and people who done some serious stuff who had a negotiated guilty plea with the prosecutor's office. This non-bending, willingness to work across the aisle with Democrats to show leniency, etc. They're only doing this because it's President Biden's son. Steve Cannon got 6 months in prison and he's whining and crying and raising hell all over the place. Big crybabies. Roger Stone whined and cried every step of the way. It seems that the element of criminality was really, really strong during the Trump administration. A lot of his people have done some terrible things and they got caught. But nobody really wants to talk about it because it doesn't make good political theater on the side of Republicans in MAGA world. So in MAGA world, everything has to be perfect. Everything must be controlled. Everything must be manipulated. So anybody who comes before a Republican judge that Trump put on the bench, the fix is already in. Judge Eileen Cannon, I don't care what you say, she's bought and paid for down in Georgia. So let's continue with the article. According to the Wall Street Journal, let's move on, Abby Lowell, Biden's lawyer, said in court. Lowell said the criminal case has marked a different time for the Biden family and that further strain would come from a Los Angeles trial that was set to include Biden family members as witnesses. Sakarzi told Biden the charges came with a maximum, listen to this, of 17 years in prison and a maximum fine of more than $1 million. The judge scheduled sentencing for December 16, about a month before the younger Biden's father leaves office. Well, how about this? Trump was convicted on 34 counts in New York City, and you all are saying that he didn't have a fair trial, which is a lie. He had a jury of his peers. And these Republicans don't want Trump to go to prison for nothing, but they want Hunter Biden to go to prison, who pled guilty, and you want to give him up to 17 years in prison, plus fine him $1 million, and you all don't want Trump to do 1 day in prison for the atrocity of crimes that he has allegedly had a hand in? Are you serious? This is how these people think. They want anybody that's quote unquote on the other side of the aisle to be severely punished, and they want leniency and clemency and pardons to be given to anybody that's a Republican. That's not fair. That's not judicial. That's not right. Thank you, Mildred. No, it's wrong. If Biden's going to go to prison, why can't Trump go to prison? He was convicted. Biden is willing to accept responsibility for his actions and pay the price for his irresponsibility. But the other dude on the other side will not confess, acknowledge, accept, nor even speak a scintilla of guilt. That's the problem. Prosecutors have said that Biden is a Yale Law School graduate. He's no idiot. He graduated from Yale, spent lavishly on drugs, escorts, and luxury hotels, all while neglecting his tax obligations. What about Trump? What about all the things that Trump spent money on? What about all the nasty things that he's been involved in? Remember with the big argument, he kept saying, I'm under audit, I'm under audit, I'm under audit, I'm under audit, I'm under audit. That's all he kept saying. The president's son previously pleaded not guilty in January to charges he failed to pay at least $1.4 million in taxes he owed for the years 2016 through 2019. The 9 charges included 3 felonies and 6 misdemeanors that allege he failed to file returns or pay taxes during a drug-fueled speeding frenzy. The man was not in his right mind. He needed help. The 3 felony charges involve allegations that the younger Biden evaded taxes on millions of dollars in income from foreign businesses. They just want to tie this somehow to China. They got it in their brain that there is a Biden crime spree connected with the Chinese government. No, it's probably the other way around. Biden paid back his taxes in the course of Weiss's 5-year investigation, but he was prevented from raising that point as a defense at trial. Sakarzi said judges routinely exclude evidence that a defendant untimely filed tax returns or untimely paid outstanding tax debts. Isn't that what happens when people don't pay their taxes on time? They get extensions from the IRA. They get a chance to catch from the IRS. They get a chance to catch up. So why should he be punished because he paid his back taxes? Well, you people are impossible. This is the reason why I had to come at you next. Federal prosecutors signal an aggressive strategy as the trial drew near, previewing an approach that would show how foreign interests paid the younger Biden to influence the U.S. government while his father was vice president during the Obama administration. That's a damn lie. Prosecutors said they planned to cast a light on a lucrative arrangement with a Romanian real estate magnate who was facing a corrupt investigation in his home country, along with his ties to the oil company CEFC China Energy and his tenure on the board of Burisma, a Ukrainian gas company. So how does Ukraine come into this? You don't think that Trump has Russian ties? Do you think that his hands are clean and everything? Do you think that any politician's hands are really clean when it comes to anything? In court Thursday, Weiss insisted on reading the entirety of the 56-page indictment into the record over the objection of Biden's lawyer to establish the facts underlying the guilty plea. His trial was set to unfold months after a jury in his hometown of Wilmington, Delaware, found him guilty of gun charges in a separate case brought by Weiss. The Delaware trial featured damning testimony from his ex-wife and former girlfriends, including Hallie Biden, the widow of his late brother, Bo, who recalled finding remnants of crack cocaine and drug paraphernalia in Hunter Biden's trunk. That's not fair. This man is deceased. Why would you even mention his name? No respect. Not an ounce of respect for the Bidens. Not an ounce of respect for the deceased. If somebody talked about Ronald Reagan in a lawsuit, y'all would be pissed. A federal judge in Delaware is set to sentence Hunter Biden on November 13 for falsely claiming that he wasn't using drugs when he purchased a handgun in 2018. He faces a maximum sentence of 25 years in prison. But as a first-time offender, he is likely to receive a fraction of that penalty, if any prison time at all. And you know what? If Kamala Harris becomes president, she should pardon him the same way that Trump pardoned his cronies. And that'll solve that problem. For the Biden family, the Los Angeles trial loomed as the bookend to a challenging period where sitting president's son had to defend himself in two trials on opposite coasts against the Justice Department of his own father's administration. President Biden has said he wouldn't use his clemency powers to pardon his son or commute any potential sentences. On Thursday, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre repeated that pledge when talking to reporters aboard Air Force One. She declined to comment on whether President Biden's decision not to seek another term affected Hunter Biden's legal strategy. On Wednesday, Jean-Pierre reiterated that Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are proud of their son for changing his life after years of drug and alcohol abuse. Kudos to you. And you know what? The outgoing president should pardon his son. He has the power and he has the authority to do it. Damn what the Republicans have to say about it. Never surrender. Never quit.